What's up, everybody? Once again, this is Urban Shop Talk with Terry and Barry, or Barry and Terry, whichever way you like it.
Terry and Barry, whichever one.
Whichever way you like it.
Terry's going to be the coach. Am I going to be the main? I'm the headliner? I'm not the headliner.
Well, you know, I'm always the headliner, but that's okay, brother. We are here live once again, and we are talking about today a special TV-centric episode where we're going to follow most of the things that we like in TV. We're going to give our top 5 list of TV shows that are current and our top 5 list of all-time TV shows. That's the big one, so that'll be later on. And we're going to ask people for their comments or questions after each list, so be ready for that so you guys can chime in and help us out with our discussion. This is the show where we talk about it all. We talk about movies, we talk about music, we talk about TV, and like I said, today's a TV-centric episode. And what do you think exactly about TV? There's so many TV shows right now. What do you think about what's going on the TV landscape?
Oh, I think the TV shows are outstanding, especially lately. I think over the course of maybe the last year or 2 years, there's so many good shows out there, so much stuff that you can binge watch all the time, and I find myself doing that a lot.
That's a good point. The streaming services have changed the game when it comes to TV, in a big way. I mean, now it used to be where there was TV shows on regular TV. Then that went to cable. Then that went to
Netflix,
the big. Well, first it went to the HBO, the Showtime, the CBS.
I think HBO was the first.
Yeah, exactly. With those ones, and then it went.
Oz, I think, was probably one of the first shows actually I watched.
Major.
Well, yeah. Probably one of the best shows too, but that's beside the point. It is. Oz is an outstanding show.
Well, yeah, they were the first ones to do that. The really movie style type TV shows, and then the networks like FX and AMC and A&E, those shows became very, risky for TV, and they got really,
Well, I got out of watching with the network TV.
I did too. Once they became,
it just wasn't good. It was kind of corny. It wasn't. I liked it like in the '80s when I was a young, like
but when you compare
Knight Rider, which are all great shows, by the way. But
they were good back then. I guess those do not hold.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I would beg to differ on that.
Wait, you want to tell me that Knight Rider wasn't a great show?
Knight Rider?
Yeah, it was. It was a great show.
It was a show. I don't know if it was a great show. It was a show.
It was an outstanding show.
Knight Rider? No, man, no.
Plot line was decent. Acting was cool, good enough.
Knight Rider?
Knight Rider was outstanding.
You might as well.
Knight Rider
and put the A-Team in it. Did you play the A-Team?
I did put the A-Team.
Oh my God!
I like the A-Team.
Let me ask you something. On the A-Team,
I like the A-Team and I like the Knight Rider. They're two of the best shows of all time.
No, they weren't.
They're top 100.
No, they weren't. And let me ask you something on the A-Team.
You don't know what you're talking about.
That is terrible. Let me ask you.
Wait, A-Team is terrible?
Hold on. Let me ask somebody.
No, they don't need to know.
I've got to get this question out. Did anybody ever get shot on the A-Team? How many times did they pull out guns and shoot everywhere and nobody ever got hit? I challenge anybody to find an episode where somebody got hit.
It wasn't designed for that.
I know, it was not good. Not in my opinion. Okay. But we got a bunch of other opinions about the game now.
A-Team and Knight Rider are two of the greatest shows of all time. Bring them back, please.
Yeah, right. Okay, so right
Who
now,
like Mr. T? Okay,
we got. I pity the fool who doesn't like him. So we got right now the current best TV shows. That's what we're going to talk about. We're doing a top 5 countdown list.
I hope you do better.
What you like currently, and I hope you got better picks than Knight Rider and A-Team. But those aren't on right now, so we're doing what
I said they were top 100, by the way, of all time. Yeah. So I think that's fair.
All right, so yeah, you won't be hard to do better than those. So right now, your current top 5 shows. Let's go. What's your number 5 on your current top 5 TV shows everywhere on any platform, network, streaming service, whatever.
For this year.
For the current right now.
Okay. I have Goliath. Billy Bob Thornton. Outstanding show. It's on Amazon. You guys need to check that out.
It's a good show. What is it about? Tell us a little bit about it. I don't have Amazon. So
you don't have?
I don't have Amazon.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I don't have that.
It's a down and out lawyer who gets in trouble, has some personal things going on. He stumbles upon a big case, and basically it's a lawyer show. But if you like Billy Bob Thornton, I really like him. He's Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob, Billy Bob's great.
He is great. I think in this show, it really shows his his wide range of acting, because he's always good at that down and out character. He plays it so well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, nobody does broke down, down
broke
and out,
down and out,
drunk.
downtrodden.
Drunk.
It's great.
Nobody does that like Billy Bob Thornton. He's great. I've heard about the show. I haven't been able to watch it. I don't have Amazon, but I heard it's a really good show. So
Great show. You guys need to definitely check it out.
all right, that's good. So he got Goliath for his number 5. My number 5 on the current TV shows that are on TV right now is the AMC mega hit called The Walking Dead. Everybody knows it. I don't know if everybody loves it, but to me, The Walking Dead is it's something of a, I'm kind of just in it now. I've been along on the journey for so long, and it does. I'll put it to you like this: there are some hits and misses in The Walking Dead throughout the season for sure, but when it hits hard, man. And that show, it has some of the best special effects, movie quality, action set pieces. Andrew Lincoln is just great as the lead character on the show, and it really draws you in. Now, like I said, all episodes aren't great all the time on that show, but when they are, they're some of the best that have ever been put together. And The Walking Dead has some of the best action set pieces that I've ever seen on any TV show ever. Walking Dead deserves to be on the list, in my opinion.
Well, I watched it a couple times, and I find it boring and redundant. So, I mean, I'm just saying from my personal, it just didn't interest me. This is the thing. How much is it zombie stuff?
It's zombies, but
Okay, but how much of it have we not already seen? A lot. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like,
look, the zombies.
but what's the storyline?
But the zombies are more of, they're more a part of the backdrop. The zombies aren't the real threat, and that's the cool part of the show, because as it's gone on, it's shown that in these very terrible situations that in the world that we could ever come to, people would be the biggest threat. And the biggest bad guys on the show are always these crazy people that do these really terrible things. And,
I'm going to interrupt Terry, but how many seasons have we been in on the show?
What are they? I think there's 6 right now. I think
probably,
6?
is it two seasons too much?
No, I won't say that. I won't say that because they
that's
give
what
you
I've
a little
heard
bit of something every time. It's they're giving you something, and the relationships and the characters. And I mean, yeah, those zombies are zombies, but I mean, like I said, it's not, the zombies aren't really the focus of the show. The zombies are like, if this was a show about the water, being on the water and pirates and stuff like that, the zombies would be like the water. They're just there. But the people and interacting and the danger of the people are more the point of the show. I think it's a great show.
Okay, well, we're moving on.
Okay, so you're number 4.
Oh.
Number 4 current shows on TV right now. What is your number 4?
I'm going to have to go here. What I did is, I'll be honest, I did like a top 15 for me, because I have so many different shows that
I'm saying you're number 4.
Okay, but I'm getting to that. So you go.
You gonna give me honorable mentions or something?
Well, I might.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and throw
We're at my barbershop. I can't do honorable.
Your shop. Go ahead, throw a couple honorable mentions if you need to.
No. I'm gonna go. Yeah, this is my.
Okay, it's number 4. This is
my number 4 is Bloodline.
Bloodline. Okay.
Netflix.
Okay.
Great show. It's a little slow.
What is it about?
Well, it's about a family who has to deal with tragedy within the scope of their family. They have something going on within one of the members of their family that is they have to control.
Yeah.
They have to handle it, and it goes to the turmoil of that. And I don't know. I just found it relatable. I liked it. It's a really slow paced storytelling, like I've always tell you guys.
Burn.
Well, very slow burn, yes, and really good show.
Yeah, Ben Mickelson, I think, is
yeah.
He's the main guy, and then I've watched a couple of episodes and it's really good from what I've seen. I haven't, like I said, there's so many shows and so many things to catch up with, but from what I've seen, it is a really good show.
It takes you I would say it takes you at least about 4 episodes to really get into it, because I actually started on it more than a couple times, but. I'm telling you, outstanding. Season 2 is outstanding too. Check it out, Bloodline.
All right, Bloodline.
Netflix.
I can't knock that one. From what I've seen, it is a good show. But my number 4 on the list of best shows that are on TV right now is an HBO original by the name of The Leftovers. The Leftovers is a show that follows the survivors of a situation. It was like a worldwide calamity that happened one day where people, it's like the rapture. If you ever, anybody's religious and know about the Bible, where they say you wake up and then people are just gone. And so that's what happened in the show The Leftovers. There was like something like,
I didn't hear it was good
something
stuff.
like 2% of the whole world disappeared or something like that, which is a crazy amount. You know, there was like in the first episode, there's a lady who's pushing her stroller and her baby's gone, and then people are getting in car accidents because people are disappearing out of cars and the cars are by themselves. And so, and it deals with the people that don't get taken and what they go through. And this show, you want to talk about slow burn. The first season is a slow burn, but once it picked up, it is amazing. And then the second season has some of the best episodes of TV that I have ever seen. Justin Theroux, who is the main character of the show, he is amazing and is some of the best acting. And you know, it's just such an interesting concept. I mean, what would you do? You woke up and you know, people just no explanation. 2% of the world is gone. That's what the show deals with the whole time. So, if anybody gets a chance, HBO The Leftovers, great show. Go check that out. What's your number 3 on your current shows of all time?
Oh man, I think we're gonna agree on this one.
Okay, go for it. Go for
And
it.
I want Jared to kind of chime in on this too.
Jared, our guy in the back.
Jared's the voice. Westworld.
Ooh, Westworld. Okay, Westworld. What I watched the whole first season.
Sir
of that.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins
Jeffrey
is great.
Wright.
Sandy Newton is amazing on that show. I thought she was amazing on the show. Sandy Newton.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
I think they do a good job with her character because
Yeah.
it really develops.
Well, she was my favorite character on the show. I love him. What was it Mavis or whatever?
Over Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins was interesting, and Jeffrey Wright was interesting, but I loved her arc in the story. But go ahead, finish. But tell the people what Westworld is about. Somebody that doesn't know. Try to explain it if you can, without giving away any major plot.
Jared, explain it.
I honestly haven't watched it before, but I'm looking at
Heard it's
Rotten
good?
Tomatoes right now. It has a high score of 89%.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows you really got to watch without kind of. You really just got to trust.
Okay, so
trust me.
Let me give a
Barry is telling you this. People out there, check it out. If you don't like it,
let me give a little bit of a
Deals
synopsis
with-
to it.
okay.
It's a
high rating.
there's a Western type world where people get to go and interact with, and I can't really go too much deeper into it without
That's
giving
what
it
I'm
away.
saying.
That's the gist of it. It's basically like, imagine if there was a place where you can go and you can live out the Wild Wild West, and what people would want to be good guys and bad guys, and you can basically do whatever in this place. And it follows the people the patrons that pay for this place, that spend a lot of money on it, and the people that work there. I'm just giving a broad thing. That's what it's about. I'm not saying what happens. That's what it's about. And it is a good show. It might have made my top 10 for right now, maybe, but it wouldn't be in my top 5.
Well,
It's not my top 5.
When you have Sir Anthony Hopkins, I'm already gonna.
It's a good show.
He's top 5 anyway.
It's
Great
a good
actor.
show. Ed Harris, don't forget him.
Oh, Ed Harris.
Ed Harris is good.
I
on
like
that
Ed
show.
Harris. You're right.
You have, like 4 Academy Awards?
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
Nominated band winners.
I mean, they're
Don't
all,
get any better than that.
they're
It
all
should
great.
be my number 1, but
They're good.
it should be.
It's a good show. It's a good show. Wouldn't have made my list, but it's a good show. So my number 3 is the spinoff to Breaking Bad, and it's called Better Call Saul, and that is an amazing show. That one's on AMC. Bob Odenkirk, who plays the title character of Saul Goodman. It's, if you've seen Breaking Bad, you know what the kind of things that they deal with real world situations with criminals and drug dealers and all of that. And there's a guy that Bob Odenkirk plays the character of Saul Goodman so well. And you're talking about guys who are down and out. This is a down and out lawyer who's dealing with a lot of seedy people, a lot of shady people, and he's got a lot of interesting problems arise when you are representing. It's a good show, and like I said, Breaking Bad is the jumping off point. So Breaking Bad is one I definitely recommend to go watch that and then get into Better Call Saul. But if you do and you know where Breaking Bad comes from, Better Call Saul is right behind it. It's a great show to me. That's my number 3.
Cast wise, tell me about the cast more. Is it cast?
The cast is great. The cast is great, and you're gonna see a lot of the revolving faces. Like I said, if anybody's a fan of Breaking Bad, this is the tough part about selling this show is because so much of it does rely on some of your knowledge of Breaking Bad.
So is it going on at the same time as Breaking
No,
Bad?
it's a prequel. It's like right before the events of Breaking Bad. So if you've watched Breaking Bad, which I stress highly stress go watch Breaking Bad. And if you watch that, come back and go watch Better Call Saul because it'll enhance your enjoyment of that show tenfold. And it's a great show, in my opinion. So, number 2 for you.
Sons of Anarchy.
On TV right now.
Well, I still had to go there.
You had to put it.
I had to rewatch it.
He liked it so much that he broke the rules. And
I
put it
broke
on
it.
there.
I rewatched it again.
He broke the rules.
And we
put it on
decided
the
we can't.
It's still on there because it's
No, it's
still-
not. It's not on TV. Anymore.
It's not on TV, but we're talking about.
But I
I
guess-
rewatched it, and I'm going to break the rules on it. Sons of Anarchy.
I guess maybe I'll give him a pass because it's on Netflix. You can kind of check it out on Netflix.
Still counts Netflix.
I suppose it's technically not on anymore. Sons of Anarchy is awesome. What do you tell them a little bit about?
Deals
Sons of
with
Anarchy?
a motorcycle gang that goes through life, ups and downs, and a lot of good action, storytelling. Granted, it went probably 2 seasons too long.
Yeah.
It did. Third season outstanding. Second season's good. Good build up. Third season probably should have ended it, but
I think that they were and Sons of Anarchy. They were following the story of Hamlet, and that's basically what the story
it
is.
was Hamlet,
It's like Hamlet with a motor club. And it's very violent. Sons of Anarchy was one of them shows where I turned
They
on the
pushed the
TV.
envelope.
I'm like,
Pushed the
how is this on TV? I know rated R movies that don't do some of the stuff that Sons of Anarchy got away with on FX. It's crazy. I mean, butt naked sex. I'm sorry, I hate to say it like that, but that's what happens. And killing, violence, it was crazy.
But it was a part of the story, though.
It was. I was just saying, they got away with murder
And
on
it
that
did
show.
follow
Literally.
Hamlet. It did follow Hamlet. It didn't follow all.
No, but that was,
I always
that was
hear
what it
that,
went
and I'm like, well, okay,
Well,
parts of it did
Well,
follow
the
it, but
creator
it
of
was.
the show, Kurt Sutter, said that it follows
Well, he
Hamlet.
did, but yeah.
That's
okay.
the entire arc is like the Hamlet with the mom and the king and all of
Yeah.
that. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
It's a good show. I wouldn't have put it on the list because it ain't current. But he broke the rules, and I guess it's on Netflix.
If
So
it's on
whatever.
Netflix, it's still current. So.
All right, not really, but okay.
Whatever.
Okay, so just as current as E.T., which I watched on Netflix the other day. So that's all right.
Ooh,
but
ooh.
but that's a little bit.
Okay.
I'll give you a pass because
Okay, well, let me-
Netflix you can click
Yeah.
on TV.
Okay.
So my number two on television right now is The Americans. The Americans. Watch The Americans. It's on FX. It stars Matthew Rhys and Kerry Russell. And basically the story is it's set in the 80s during the Cold War. And Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys, they play a pair of spies, Russian spies, that live in America. And nobody knows that they're Russian spies just based off of their everyday.
Yeah.
They're undercover. They look like regular American people, but they are not. And they're bad. These guys, they can fight. They're master spies. They're master disguise artists. They can put on all kind of disguises. And they're trying to raise 2 kids who, as the story progresses, they learn a few things, but they don't know that they're Russian. So the kids think that they're American. Their next door neighbor's an FBI guy. I mean, the show is outstanding. The acting, the
It's
action,
one of those shows
everything.
because I've heard mixed reviews.
Well,
about it.
you
It's one of-
heard wrong if they didn't like it, because that show is great.
That show received high praise from Rotten Tomatoes also.
What's the Rotten Tomato score, Jared, on that one?
96%.
96%.
Which is
I'm
higher,
telling you right now, that show
Westworld
is great.
or Americans? I'm not sure.
Westworld
Americans
had
is high.
89.
Americans way
They're
out.
wrong.
No. Are you kidding me? Oh, Westworld over Americans?
wrong.
Oh, you're out of your
But I
mind.
will watch the Americans.
Americans is amazing. I'm telling you right now. I wouldn't steer you wrong. Let me tell you right now, the Americans. You talking about slow burn. You talking about action. You talking about espionage. You talking about all that good stuff and family drama, all in the same thing. This show, if it wasn't for my number one, would be my number one. Americans is amazing. That's my number 2 pick. Americans is great. And so your number one show on TV right now, currently. Did you do your number 2?
No, and I was.
Where did we jump to?
I don't know what you're doing, man. All right.
I'm
at number 2. I'm
You're
at number 2. Mine is number 2.
What was your number 3?
What's my number 3?
Did we do your number 3?
No.
Okay, so okay, number 2. Do your number 2.
Sneaky Pete's. It's on Amazon. It's about this con man who takes the identity of one of his a prisoner that he was locked up with, and he goes in and becomes this guy's. He goes to the family, and he's just assuming another identity, and it's good. It's really good. It has the
Who's the guy? Who's the main guy in the show?
who's
It's Giovanni Ribisi.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like that guy.
yeah,
Giovanni Ribisi. He's a good actor.
and the guy from Breaking Bad is in there.
Received 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sneaky Pete.
I won.
You're only on your number. Your number, what is number 3?
Yeah, and they have the start. Well, I know. No, actually number 2. But
Number 2.
I'll help you out.
Okay, well, looking at your list.
And they have the star from Breaking Bad is in there. He's the villain. So
Okay,
yeah, it's a good show.
good show. Now I think I'm looking at your list, and it does look like you skipped over.
I didn't think of no.
Oh, these are all time?
These are all shows.
So that was your number
That's
2?
number 2, man. You're on number 2. You got to do your number 2, man.
I already did mine. Mine was the Americans. So that's why I think we jumped over something.
You have Game of Thrones.
No, that's not. But I will get to my number 1 since you gave it away, and it is Game of Thrones, the best show on TV, in my opinion. Is Game of Thrones. I've watched it since the very first episode, and I know people that have read the books, they say the books are just as good or even better. The show is basically, think about Lord of the Rings rated R. So it's like in a very adult version of Lord of the Rings, and there's family, political intrigue, family drama, action, fantasy, everything you possibly want is in Game of Thrones. It's one of the best shows I think of all time. And the production value on the show, you're gonna get more out of some episodes of Game of Thrones than you get out of movies. So I think it's amazing.
Well, I'll just chime in because I watched I think one episode, and I talked to one of my boys yesterday about it, Dave, who was telling me about it, and it really kind of piqued my interest. So I am going to check it out. I'm going to binge watch that one.
Game of Thrones, and it's one of those ones. It's almost, if you can binge watch, it's great because you can like get right to it. You have to wait. I mean, there's some things on there where they shocked viewers with some of the episodes they've had. There's an episode in season 3 that just like was one of the most. They did YouTube videos to see people's reactions when things happen on it. I mean, because the book readers knew what was coming, and then they filmed their family members to see what was happening. I mean, they have so many moments like that. Listen, you think about shows where literally nobody's safe. Game of Thrones is that show. Nobody's safe. You gotta watch that. It's amazing TV. Anyway, your number 1 show on TV.
Game of Thrones also received a 95% on Tomatoes, which is very high.
This one, and I'm just going to because I like Netflix and I like some of it. But anyways, mine is Luther.
Your number 1.
That's number 1
number
show.
1 current TV show.
Yeah, Luther.
Again, not really.
I'm on Netflix, so and I like it. Well, it's
really
good enough.
current.
It's current enough. You guys need to get hooked to Luther.
Tell us about Luther.
Luther
The current show, Luther. It's on TV.
Hey,
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Let us know about it.
Deals with Idris Elba, who's the main star of it. He's a detective. He's somewhat crazy, bipolar, and no, he is. That's got diagnosed with that. So anyway, on the show, and it just deals with him really going and solving crimes and stuff. But it has great backstory on it, and the reason why I put it currently because I just got on the season recently. So to me, that's current enough.
So it's current to you.
Yeah, it's current to me.
Okay. Just like Knight Rider might be current for somebody else that's watching right now. But I guess we're gonna go that
this
route.
guy going.
I guess we're gonna go with that one right now.
Hey,
You guys tell me Knight Rider.
The latest Fresh Prince episode.
Yeah, that new Fresh Prince
really?
episode was crazy.
Oh,
That's a brand new show. I'm telling you right now, man. Will Smith is amazing in this new show called Fresh Prince. Check it out. Him and this guy named Carlton. I don't know his real name. His name is Carlton.
If it's current, look, if it's available on Netflix, it's a current. So we're gonna forget it. He gonna make up. For
Hey,
it.
there's another one called Living Color. It was on there just the other day.
You're
I
cool.
seen it.
Let me get to you. Hey,
it's
can we get
currently
to-
on there.
wait.
Okay,
Let's
now,
get to your best show.
Let me talk to you about Luther though. Luther is a great show. If you're talking about, there's these new police shows that are on TV, and everybody's kind of getting with them now because of another show which we'll talk about later. I know we're both going to talk about it. Not that one, but there's another one with the W in the title that I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Right.
The cop show, very realistic. And ever since those kind of shows were coming out, a lot of TV shows have been on this really realistic look at police procedurals and watching how they operate and the nuances that go on in the day-to-day routine of some cops. And that's what Luther deals with. Luther's kind of a troubled cop, a dirty cop a little bit.
You want to tell the show?
No.
He's not dirty.
That you can watch the first minute of the first
He's not
episode and
dirty,
they
though.
give you that. So when you watch the show, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Luther's definitely he's been in the dirt. If you don't want to call him dirty, he's played in the dirt a few times as a cop. But he's great. I think I almost would say that this show Luther is Idris Elba's best work. I think that he is so great in that show, and it is a great show. And if I felt it was more current, I would have it on my list.
He should be the next James Bond.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to give that to him.
Well, hey, he should be.
They don't want to see no brother James. James
we
Bond.
don't. Hey, he has everything.
Well, I don't know why
James
they
Bond
wouldn't.
is just a character.
I
Bond is
would
not.
I would agree. I just doubt that they do it. So,
We don't know.
Jared, is there any questions about the, or is there any suggestions about the top 5 list? Anybody say anything about?
Well, while he's looking, let's go on.
Not yet.
Well,
Hold on, real quick. Let's,
Since the debate kind of got a little iffy, I had a gentleman mention The Wire.
oh yeah, well, we're not doing current though. We're doing
I'm trying
current.
to get him to go there,
We're
but
doing
he
current.
won't.
We're gonna get to that. Trust me. I'm just trying to get some questions real quick about anything current. Is that it?
No, that's it. Can we?
That's it.
You can ask some questions for some feedback.
Anybody? All right. Well, then that's okay. So we'll get some feedback maybe later on about current TVs. Now, finally,
Thank God.
we get this one. This one is just going to be great for Barry because we're talking about all-time TV shows now. We're going to go all-time, ever, which means if it ever came on, so it doesn't have to be current.
If it's on
That
Netflix,
is
it's
work.
current. This guy. Well, you
No,
know,
it's not. But that's okay.
that's why you call it that.
That-
You mentioned Netflix at the beginning of the show.
And that's what Netflix literally has new seasons of shows that come
Okay,
on.
if it's a new season, okay.
So if you're watching,
So if I watch it-
Orange is the New Black, there's an old season which is on Netflix right now, which might be new for somebody, but it's not new. There's a new season of Orange is the New Black that's coming out.
So
this
I
year.
can't watch, and I can't say, hey, I watched the new.
You can
Oh,
say
okay,
that
okay.
you watched them.
Okay.
Doesn't make it current. But
All right,
anyway,
let's get it.
to your
All right.
all-time TV list. What is your all-time number 5 all-time TV show?
Oh man,
Number 5 of all time. This is ever that ever came on TV.
Mine is number 5 is Moonlighting.
Moonlighting.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce
Silver
Willis.
Shepherd.
Back when he was still comedy, no
Comedy.
action.
Well, it was comedy and a little bit of both in that show. I thought the show was just ahead of its time when it came out.
What made it ahead of its time?
Well, it just dealt with some pretty provocative topics,
Yeah.
and it was a sexy, kind of seductive show that had crime, detective work. It was just good. It was a great show.
Yeah. Okay. Moonlighting.
Moonlighting, it is.
Moonlighting. I've heard of the show. I know it. I've never actually sat and watched
Get
it.
on your game. Get on your game, brother.
I haven't watched it.
Okay.
I can't.
I bet you
deny
everything's
that I
gonna be
haven't.
like 5 years and above on
I
this
can't,
one.
right,
Let's see.
because yeah, that's right.
right.
So number 5 on my list of all-time TV shows is The Twilight Zone, and this is a show that spanned many decades. Rod Sterling come out there and he would tell you that you're in a weird place, a place that makes you feel like blah blah blah. You're in the Twilight Zone. It was a great show. The black and white Twilight Zone stuff is really what I'm talking about because that stuff is kind of timeless to me. The stories that they do and the weird scenarios that people will wake up and find themselves in. And it's just a show that was so thought-provoking. And I don't know how many times I've had a winter vacation or something or holiday season where they've been marathoning the episodes of The Twilight Zone. And any time I could turn those on and watch episode after episode, they're so interesting. They're so good. Yeah, The Twilight Zone. To me, that's timeless television. The Twilight Zone. Anybody can watch it anytime.
Yeah, boring. It's like I'm playing. No,
See, you know better. Number 4 all time.
The Shield.
The Shield.
I thought at that time.
Chickless.
Yeah, man, outstanding work on that. That dealt with. Now that was a dirty.
Was he even a cop?
I don't
Is
even
what you
know.
want to say? That was
But at that time, it was ahead of its time.
Yep, The Shield was a good show, and I mean brutal ending to the show too.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Did you like the ending?
I thought it would fit the guy the way that his path went. It's a rough show. It's basically all you need to know is it's a good, really, really good cop show with a cop that is the villain. Basically, he's not really an anti-hero. I can't call him an anti-hero.
Well, I think
he started out as an anti-hero.
He started
and
off.
Really just
it just
descended
snowballed on it.
into
When you do dirt and you just kind of
he
get caught in so many different angles but it's a
he
great
started
show.
out in the dirt and he became a mudslide.
Yeah.
That guy was something else. But that's another good show, The Shield. Number 4 on my list, The Sopranos from HBO, starring James Gandolfini as the title role of Tony Soprano. Now, this is one of the first major, cinematic type show where they really, really almost was like a movie in what they did with it. And James Gandolfini was great the whole way through. Edie Falco, the whole cast was great. Michael Imperioli. It basically, think the Goodfellas, but just even more dealing with somebody's family and family drama and all the other fun stuff that happens with mafia stuff that goes on.
I thought it went too. That's another one. I think it went too long.
It wasn't the best in the later series, but I think
the last maybe 3 seasons.
I don't know. I think even in the later episodes, the Sopranos is another one of those shows to me that when it was good, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. So Sopranos.
Did you like the first season? The first season, because I thought for me it took me. Because I watched it late, so it took me a while to get through the first season. Because I was like, I didn't really see what. Well,
I remember when
in the second season, I was like, okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I think I caught on. I think I went back and watched the first season after the second season because I watched I watched the second season first, but I was already hooked by that point. So I mean, the whole series is something to watch, and it's just to me another one of those great cinematic journeys that can there's a way that TV shows can tell stories that movies can't because they can develop characters for so much longer
and they develop
tell stories
angles
for so so you get to see every side of these characters, and that show was one of the ones that really gave you that advantage, and it was a great show to me. It's number 4, Sopranos. Number 3 for you, all time.
Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle Show. That would have been in my top 10. Chappelle Show. Tell us about the Chappelle Show. What is that Chappelle Show for somebody who doesn't know?
Well, it was just it was sketches about Dave Chappelle. It sketched about different about culture at that time and race relations and just different type of topics that were going on during that time. And,
you talk about ahead of its time too. That was 2003.
When you watch it now, you can watch it now. You're like, damn, that's still prevalent.
Right.
It was just a great show.
Yeah, I've seen every single episode of Chappelle.
I probably watched it 3 or 4 times.
I might have watched it more than that. The Chappelle Show is it's one of the best shows, one of the best comedy shows. The Prince and Rick James all-time classic skits on any. You can put those skits up against Saturday Night Live's best, Living Color's best, Mad TV's best, whatever.
It was genius work.
The best stuff that you'll ever see is some of the stuff with Prince and
another thing
Rick
that
James
he did, it introduced us to a lot of artists too. That he had a really good
John Legend, really good music.
Yeah. Roots. Well, I mean, Roots probably.
Yeah, and when you learn about how Rick James feels about couches, it's gonna be something you're gonna watch.
No, the one that always gives me is the black guy that didn't know he was black.
Oh yeah, he has a Clayton Bigsby. I think that's on the first episode of Chappelle Show. He does another ingenious sketch. He does a sketch about a guy he's a white supremacist. He's blind white supremacist that doesn't know he's actually black, and it's the best thing you'll ever see. It's amazing. So that's another great one. Okay, so for number 3 all-time best shows for me, Breaking Bad, starring Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul. Breaking Bad is the story of a guy who's a normal guy who ends up becoming a meth dealer, and all hell breaks loose very quickly, and it all goes downhill. It's one of the best character developed shows that you'll ever see. Bryan Cranston, he deserved Emmys that he got for it. I thought the acting was impeccable. It's some of the best, most shocking moments you're going to see on TV. Breaking Bad is amazing. That's one of the best shows I've ever seen on TV, and it was very close to making it even higher on my list. Breaking Bad, there's 5 seasons of it, and watch them. They're on Netflix. Watch them back to back, front to back. Enjoy all of them. They're just amazing acting, amazing TV.
Yeah, I got through the first. I mean, I'm halfway actually through the first season.
You haven't watched the whole thing?
No, I haven't watched the whole thing.
Man,
but I want to take my time.
I mean, when you see where he goes.
I've heard the same thing. Slow burn.
You've definitely got to binge watch.
Yeah.
See, Jared knows.
Yeah.
Jared knows. You got it. Breaking Bad is one of the ones. You gotta go take the journey with the character. Walter White is the guy's name. Take the journey with him from the start to the finish and see where this guy ends up. It's amazing. And there's a couple of episodes, especially even towards the end. It's one of those ones usually shows lose steam towards the end. But towards the end, there's got some of the best shows even later in the series.
And people say how realistic it is too.
It's very realistic. I'm telling you,
that's always a plus.
The show is amazing. That's my number 3 of all time is Breaking Bad. What is your number 2 show of all time?
Oz. One of the first prison, kind of hard to watch some of the scenes.
Hard to watch. God, I can't. I mean, I got nightmares of that show, man.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oz. Hey, look.
If you want to see something about prison and kind of some of the dealings and the politics, the interview, Oz is outstanding.
Oz is one of those shows that will make you reform your life. You won't do crime after you watch Oz. You're not going to want to do crime. You're going to want to be on the straight and narrow path so you don't go to prison, because Oz showed what hell is really like, and it's prison. And these guys they live like animals, they act like animals, and it is a jungle in prison, and Oz shows you
What
that.
I did like about this show was it was one of the first shows where the main characters, you didn't know who was going to die.
Yeah.
And that made it.
Yeah, it was
kinda-
one of those anybody could go. kind of
Anybody
thing.
can go. It made it
Realism.
Yeah.
was all over.
Now
that
some
show.
of it got a little bit,
It's too realistic.
well, some of those scenes
I
can
don't
be
want to
kind
see
of
that.
disturbing.
I don't want to see what happens when people are mad at you in the shower. I don't want to know about that. But that happened a lot. Oz is a good show. Okay.
I don't know where that could fit in.
I do. If you watch Oz, you will know where it comes from too.
Okay.
You will know where it comes from. Unfortunately, it's a rough show. But my number 2 show of all time, I mentioned it earlier on my current shows, and yes, it's my number 2, and it might go higher than that later on. It is Game of Thrones. This is amazing. I can't stress it any more to you right now. Watch Game of Thrones. If you watch the first episode and like, that was cool, I don't know about that. No, watch the whole thing. Go the whole way through, and if you watch the first season, you're going to want to watch the second season. You're going to watch the third season, and you're going to end up where we are right now, which is like number 6 and going into number 7. The production value is amazing. The acting is amazing. Game of Thrones is one of the best shows ever produced, and it's almost as good as a movie every single week. I can't stress it enough. You have great actors. Like there's a little guy who's acting in there, Peter Dinklage. I'm trying to be, he's a little guy. He's a little person. Peter Dinklage.
A little fella, huh?
You can't. There's certain words you use. You
I
can't use it.
understand,
He's
but
a great actor. He wins
yeah.
Emmys all the time for it. He's amazing.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
He's always
period.
great. Peter Dinklage is great. He's the guy that I'm talking about, the little guy. Kit Harington is another great actor on the show. He plays a very good role on the show. Amelia Clarke, Sean Bean in the first episode. There is so many great actors. Pretty much any good British English actors you could think of, they usually come and go on that show. So, just go check it out. Game of Thrones, my number 2 show of all time.
I am going to check it out. Yeah.
So we're at your number 1 show of all time, and I think we can do this together because I think we both got it.
Oh man,
I think we both have it.
getting chills.
We both have it, so we can just go ahead and say it. Our number 1 show is
This is one show that I've watched literally probably 20 times.
right, and I've probably been right there with it, maybe 21 times. It is The Wire, the best show
I
ever
was
made.
going to say, you just took, okay, that's all good.
I was waiting for you. I said it is. I said it
you
up
got
for
me
you.
the headline.
I said
Yeah.
it. Go ahead. Say it again.
The
bro.
Wire.
Say it. The Wire.
The Wire.
He said it too. I said
The
it.
Wire.
He said it. The
Yeah.
Wire. The best show
Ever.
made on TV. I think that if you're looking for
Social,
economic, you're talking about cops, robbers, bad
Political
guys.
system.
Look, there's
Corruption.
the tagline on the show is "It's all connected," and that's what it is. It's all connected from the top, from the government, the governor, the mayor,
Everything.
to the police chiefs,
Doesn't
down to
matter.
the cops, down to the dealers, the street corner boys, all the way down to the drug addicts themselves. This show covers everything in the Baltimore drug trade. They actually, when they made the show.
Supposed to be after Homicide.
Well, yeah, and when they actually made the show, the director.
Homicide, who you guys need to check out too. Homicide is another really.
Homicide's a good one. The Wire actually had guys on the set that were actually drug dealers from the Baltimore drug trade.
One of the biggest
that
drug
were,
dealers
that,
was
that
on
were
the- on
telling
the
them
set.
what happened, and they were giving them a lot of the story material that they did and worked on, and that's why the show has a realism that it just can't
Never
be
seen
matched.
before.
It just can't be matched. They show everybody. There's no good guy, bad guy. There's some
everybody.
good and there's some bad
Yeah.
everywhere, and it's.
But it shows what it takes to actually have criminals and actually have. You have to catch criminals.
Well, this-
And sometimes you have to get dirty to catch criminals, and that's the reality of it.
And it shows the system too.
Yeah. So
Just the overall system of how everything works. It's all connected. That's what the show's tagline is. It's a great show, The Wire. So that's pretty much it for right now. Do we leave anything else?
No, I think no, The Wire.
The Wire, we have to end it there.
I would like people to go watch The Wire and kind of let us know what they feel about The
Yeah,
Wire.
we wanna-
And
we
tell
wanna
us
get
about
the
The Wire.
feedback.
The Wire is great. Man. It's a great show.
So we're gonna
Any questions from you, Jaron? Or
any questions?
what would
from
be your
anybody
number
else?
one? Would The Wire be your number one too?
I put The Wire up to number 1.
It has to. I mean,
The acting, the storytelling, all of that.
And all that, you seen actors that you're seeing now made him getting
well,
stars.
Idris Elba got his start from there. You got Dominic West has been great in a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
stuff.
he's in a great show
Riddick,
called The Affair.
Lance Riddick. There's a lot of great actors that come from there. The Wire is the best show of all time. That's going to be it for right now. We're going
Honorable mention: Knight Rider, Dynasty,
to dishonorable
MacGyver.
mention. Dishonorable
I like me
mention.
some Dynasty. Joan Collins is
Oh
outstanding in
my
that.
God,
She
Dynasty.
is outstanding in that.
Dynasty.
Different Strokes.
I'd say Fresh
Webster.
Prince or Martin from your current collection that you like to watch. You could probably
Yeah, I
put
do like
both of
Martin.
those.
Yeah, you like the Jefferson?
Jefferson,
Silver Spoons.
no,
Silver Spoon was outstanding.
that wasn't. I can't relate to Silver Spoons.
Silver Spoons was
That
outstanding.
never was my thing. Fresh Prince and Martin. We're gonna go back.
Well, how about MacGyver? No, you're not hip. Man.
I mean, I like.
You're not
It's
hip.
cool when he makes a bomb out of a safety pin or something like that. I just-
Yeah, but the way they would describe it
Whatever.
and have the you know the step by step was kind of it was kind of neat. It was ahead of his time. I thought.
Yeah, I'm New York Undercover.
Yeah,
New York Undercover.
Nah, he got
New-
that.
He
nah.
gonna say Knight Rider, and then he ain't gonna say
It
New
was
York
just
Undercover.
New York
He ain't gonna say New
Undercover.
York Undercover.
Jared, you like New York Undercover?
Williams and Torres.
I liked it.
Williams and Torres. He ain't gonna say
Still
that.
one
Had the toothpick in the. It was just.
Come on, man.
He had the toothpick.
Come on, man. Everybody watched New
He
York
running at the
Undercover.
toothpick. Everything in the toothpick. I don't know,
Come
man.
on,
I
man.
know.
We gonna cut it off right
How
there.
about
We gotta-
Living Color? You know, Living Color.
Living Color was a great sketch show. I
Yeah.
love that show. A lot of stars came from there, but we do have to cut it right now. We're going to be back next week. There's going to be a review for
Fall Guy was good too, my boy. You're right. Fall
There's going to
Guy.
be a review next
Fall,
week.
Fall Guy was. Man, there's so many great shows.
Too many to count all of them. But we're going to be back next week. Look for a review for Beauty and the Beast and some other ones. Until that time, thank you for joining us with Urban Shop Talk.
Share us, like us.
Like us.
Join
We're all
do
about
this.
us.
And first and second of all, we want to say thank you to everybody that's been kind of watching and been giving us feedback. There's a lot of people that have been like, hey, watch this movie, or you guys told us about Moonlight or something like that. So we just do it because we love movies, and this is what we do. So.
We do it because we love movies, we love TV, we love entertainment, and we want to do this on a as big a level as we can. We got a lot of things we're working on right now. We're going to bring it to you guys real soon, but we do have to go right now. Join us next week. Beauty and the Beast will be reviewed next week. Check us out. Until then, thank you guys
Who
for
else
coming.
wants to see that though?
And calm.